Welcome, guys, to an episode of the HSP podcast. I am Jeff Martin alongside my tag team partner, the Trendsetter, Brian Berger. We are the Jersey Wrecking Crew. And
You're a tag team? What? No, you're a tag team?
We're a tag team podcast interviewers. So so we're the best tag team podcast interviewers in the world, and we're talking to the best tag team in the NWA.
I think they're challenging us to a fight, Legursky. Look at he's getting feisty.
I'll smack that mustache right off your face.
You don't want
No. You
here.
pull one side, I'll pull the other, and we'll see what happens.
Tug of war.
Well, I wouldn't want you guys to get injured by pulling this so close to competition. That'd be unfair for both of you guys.
Hey, we pull a lot of things. I think we'll be all right.
Guys, this need fixing from the fixers. I must tell you that right now. Guys, they can fix any problem, anyone, anytime, anywhere. We're joined by the fixers who
This guy gets it.
Yes, they will be part of the NWA 74 this weekend. Guys, welcome to the show, man. Looking forward to this interview. What is up, guys? How you feeling heading into this weekend for NWA 74?
I'm feeling pretty good. I like our chances in the NWA USA Tag Team Battle Royal. I think we've beat up a good majority of the other competitors at some point in time. And, I mean, they've got to get two of the biggest guys in the NWA out of the ring for them to win. So I think it's in our favor. Plus, we're American, so it just kind of fits.
USA! USA! USA!
Watch this. It's just like one of those buttons that says it's easy. We're Americans.
There you go.
Come on, you missed it that time.
USA! There's the satellite delay. Yeah.
It's a 2-minute delay.
He's a really intelligent individual. It's just a one-track mind. So it's like if you deviate from that track, it takes him a minute or so to adjust. That's all.
I'm getting pizza tonight.
Ooh, what kind?
Cheese with garlic.
Good. Better not be pineapple. No pineapples,
right? Oh, no pineapple here. We're not communists.
No. Damn right. You're made in the USA. Eat a real pizza.
USA!
See? Set them up for that one. So you guys, by far, are the biggest team here heading into Sunday's Battle Royal. Again, it's for the NWA United States Tag Team Championships. Guys, it's been a nice run for you guys here at NWA, and just want to talk.
Hold on. Do you think we run anywhere?
Running for cowards and skinny people.
It's been a nice light jog so far.
We don't do cardio because these colors don't run.
So, Trendsetter is going to be one of those.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. I love it. What are you talking about? These guys, man. If we're talking, find some energy. I got to deal with this guy all the time. I'm having a blast right now talking to you guys. So if we got into a fight, he would turn on me in a second. So you guys would.
No questions asked.
He'd do the heel turn on me. But guys, how awesome is it that obviously from your guys' personalities here, you're running here and running right. You guys are in NWA, and you guys are letting your personalities really shine. I feel you guys are just being yourselves. Like, how does that feel to have that? I guess kind of that creativity to do your own thing here, because other companies kind of be like have other directions for you guys. How does it feel to kind of control your character and just be you guys?
Well, as my dad always said growing up, I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately. Yeah, that's what he said.
Your dad said that.
Yeah.
You sang it like that?
Yeah.
Nice. Man.
Okay. Well, to coattail off of that, I think this is one of the reasons I'm enjoying my time in the NWA so much, and it has been such a memorable stop in my career. You guys probably looked up, the old Wikipedia, and I bounced around a lot with a lot of other companies over my career. And you're right, like a lot of companies, they want to try to, at least from my experience, cast you into a certain role or take certain parts of your personality and kind of tailor it to what they think will be successful for them, or the story they want to tell, and or just do something completely off the wall, like try to make you the bastard son of Elvis, which is what I experienced.
Wow.
You know, so it's fun. It makes things much more enjoyable for me. I'm really thankful Billy Corrigan allows that, and you know, he's a creative person to begin with as a musician and his other endeavors. So you know, he just points us in the direction he wants us to go in, and how we get there, and what we do, why we're on the journey, and you know, it's all like kind of up to us. And so you're seeing what that is sowed with the Fixers. You know, old Wrecking Ball and I get along really, really well. Obviously, we're like the brothers that each other never wanted, and you know, we're true blue Americans, and we like to beat people up. We like to have fun, and we put it in a shaker bottle and shook it up, and this is what we got.
And you guys got magic. That's what you guys have too. I mean, there's no doubt. There's
Wait, magic? Is that like the Magic Jack guy? He makes the thing disappear?
yes, exactly.
I'm gonna ask him when I see him this week to do the thing where he makes that girl's clothes disappear and then makes them reappear. Do you think he can do that? He's a magician, right?
He is a magician, but I hate when he makes the clothes reappear. That's the worst part of the trick. I don't
That's
need
what
that.
the internet's for. That's what the internet's for. You never. There's tons of that, and then but now they make you pay for that stuff. You know what I mean?
Why? Why pay for it when it's for free? Honestly, and if you're good at something, never do it for free. Is what you guys are. You guys are amazing at what you're doing. But going back to the fact that you guys again have that chemistry with each other. You guys feed off each other really well. Get it? Feed. You guys eat a lot, but
cereal, pizza, burgers,
pizza.
And in St. Louis, you need to go get some barbecue, right? That's definitely a must. It's a must.
I think we'll definitely have some barbecue, or if we really get spoiled, maybe I'll politic with my politicking ways in the NWA, and I'll get it catered to us.
You have to pull that card. You have to. You got to pull that card out.
Superstar card.
Definitely.
I want catering.
Yeah.
So, being one of one of the best tag teams, if not the best tag team in the best tag team, what's it going to be like when you guys hold up those championships? Is it going to be like solidify you guys, or is it just going to be another step, or what's the future look for you guys after this weekend? Like, do you think it's going to solidify? It's just going to reemphasize what you guys are? What are you looking to after you win those belts on Sunday?
Celebrating.
Hell yeah. Food! No, but it will absolutely solidify us. I mean, for me, it's definitely validation. I mean, I've been knocking at the doors for big companies for years now, and I haven't got the chance that I should have for a long time, and now, you know, I'm going to get that chance in the NWA, and I've overall gotten that chance to shine, and that the NWA USA title is 100. The USA tag titles is 100% going to be validation for me, and it's going to be validation for us.
I agree. You know, if there's some validation to it that, you know, if we walk out of there with those NWA USA Tag Team Championships, I think we will. Oh, by the way, Legursky, I found belt extenders for championship titles for us.
Ooh.
So we're going to make sure they can
waist.
fit. I know. I thought of you immediately. But anyways, you know, if we walk out of there holding those belts up and, you know, the company chooses to get behind us and gives us the thumbs up going forward, I think in this really cool modern modern time of pro wrestling where we're seeing so much cooperation between companies and talent, I think you can throw us into that mix where, you know, right now you've got people bouncing around or making appearances from company to companies or doing like a super show, you know, that are kind of becoming a common thing in pro wrestling nowadays, where talent from various companies is on one event or challenging for a title from another company, another promotion, another country. if we walk out of there with those USA tag titles, I think you throw us in there, and hopefully from there, we get to have some really, really fun, interesting matchups with guys from not only the NWA, but also internationally abroad, and then other major companies here that have a lot of visibility and show what we can really do.
Absolutely. The titles would put a huge spotlight on us and solidify our names.
Definitely solidified, but I love how modest you guys are when you say if. It's when it happens. It's going to happen. There's no if, ands, or buts about it, basically, because you guys are just that talented, and it would make a lot of sense because of the momentum you guys have.
And we're that big, and we're that good looking, and we're that smart.
Goes that question.
It's like
we're the biggest, beautifulest, baddestest, bestest team there.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you guys because I know.
Put that on a t-shirt.
There you go, guys. And first of all, we're all fans of pro wrestling and the business, but you guys get to see it from the perspective of you guys are the talent. You guys are there. One question, actually, two questions is: do you guys embrace like being maybe locker room leaders? Do you guys embrace something like that? Like, is that something that you guys want to be or trying to be? And then two, what's one thing that about the business as you're looking on that you really love that's going on right now?
As far as being any locker room leadership, I think that's a role that you can't make yourself into. I don't think you can be one of those people, at least from my experience in my career. Like if someone tries to make themselves that or say they're that, it doesn't always go so well. It's more of a quiet leadership or set lead by example. And if we fall into those roles over time with the NWA or other places, so be it. Sorry, I've got two fighting meatballs on my floor right now. I think I certainly have the leadership, or not check that, the experience to have good leadership or to help other talent, just from my career span and what I've seen. But again, it's one of those things that just kind of happens naturally. And then your second part of your question was one aspect of the business that I'm really enjoying. I think
it's what you just mentioned, the visibility, the different promotions that could work with each other. NWA coming back to the limelight, NWA rebranding, getting bigger, better, faster, stronger, and bringing back to the prominence that it was. I don't know about the locker room leader stuff, but I know that within the Fixers, Jay is the leader, and he's legitimately someone
I'm the boss. The boss.
Boss.
The boss is legitimately someone, who's had the experience that on bigger stages that I necessarily haven't had, and he's able to, like, if I'm mad at something, if I'm pissed off, he's able to put things in perspective. He's able to calm me down. He's legitimately like a more experienced, bigger brother than me, and that's 100% real as it gets.
See, I told you we're like the brothers that we never wanted, but we somehow found each other, and it's the biggest bromance by size and girth you'll ever see. But
I could argue. So hold on. And I could argue, like, me and Jay sometimes could get heated and argue with each other, but we get over it though. That's the thing. Like, Jay is someone who I know I don't have to fucking walk on eggshells for. I don't have to, like, I could be myself around Jay. I could, say what I think, say how I feel, and he does the same. And if we happen to get mad or heated at each other in any moment, like, we'll shake it off and move on because we are legitimately like brothers.
Yeah, I would agree big time with that. That's just my personality. He's got a similar personality as far as we're thick-skinned, and this business is a very creative business. So everybody has their own spin, their own view, just like any other artist, from a painter, a musician, a film uh, aspect, producer, director, writer, all that stuff. Um, I would also echo his statements about, you know, current state of pro wrestling is really cool. Just for the amount of cooperation, it's like, this year in the NWA alone, we've seen the Briscoes, we've seen, La Rebellion is hot in Tijuana with Crash Promotion and other lucha. We've got MLW, Davey Richards coming into this weekend. The Briscoes were here for the Crockett Cup. Like, this was unheard of just a handful of years ago, and I think it's awesome, especially from a guy like me who, grew up reading, we'll call like the Mark mags, like the, Pro Wrestling Illustrated and the Wrestler and Wrestling Illustrated and all that stuff, where it's like you read about other things that was going on in the territories, or like, growing up in Chicago, I could only get like ECW or USWA sometimes via syndication, but you read about it in these magazines, or you read about like what was going on in the Carolinas and Independence, or Puerto Rico or whatnot, Japan. And now it's like all these people get to like work together and cross paths. The visibility is there. You get some really cool interaction and matchups, and it's a win for everybody. Like, it gets the locker room excited because we're all fans when it comes down to it. It certainly does good business for the promotions, and then the fans win it all because it's just more good wrestling out there, and they get to see these what ifs come to life. So I think it's a really cool time in pro wrestling.
Definitely, I would say it's probably one of the best times to be a pro wrestler, to cover it, because with technology being the way it is, there's so much more coverage as opposed, back in the days we do tape trading. Oh, you got to check out this match in Japan, you got to check out this match in ECW. You can only see certain events in certain locations that you guys are in. But speaking of that, mentioning you are all fans of this, from your guys' perspective, when you guys look at it from being fans and now being in it, has the mindset changed? Because sometimes you can see something for what it is from one perspective, and then when you're actually in it, it's either everything you thought it would be, or it wasn't anything you thought at all. Do you guys still enjoy it from a fan's perspective, or is there a dynamic between the two that you have to kind of balance out when you're actually in it, doing creative and working with other people and trying to get things across?
For me, I have to balance it out, because there is so much to it once you get to a larger company or larger promotion. As far as when I say that, it's like more visible. You know what I mean? Like, someone's throwing you out there on like a television product, a streaming product. You know what I mean? You're there for a reason, and that's the business aspect of it. Everybody wants eyes on them, wants sales at the merch table, sales at the box office, whether it's a virtual digital one or in person, right? So as I've gotten farther into my career and that experience has kicked in, like you have to think with that mindset of what is this doing for business? How is what I'm doing affecting or helping? Because really, at the end of the day, if you're not doing either one, you're probably expendable to the company you work for. But on the flip side of that, you know what I mean? Like, just doing things like the Fixers with Legursky and finding people like him that you connect with and you can bond with keeps things really, really fun. And, and maybe I'm not a fan of wrestling like the same way I was when I was a teenager or a kid, or even when I first got into wrestling. But you find things that you are a fan of that you can enjoy, or, maybe you're not watching everything, you know, as it happens live, or every match, but you're following, you kind of have a heads up on what's going on and what companies, and digging up a match, or crossing paths with guys. So you become fans of certain things. Maybe someone's ascent in pro wrestling that you're like, man, this guy's been killing it. He's got so much going for him, and he's getting a shot, or he's putting out really good matches, or someone's Descent who's just been an asshole forever, and now people are catching on to it. You know what I mean? And you're like, I could have told you this guy was a a jackass 10 years ago. You know what I mean? But you all liked him because you liked his matches or whatever. But
Yeah.
There's various. I think that's one of the I guess cool things about what social media has done to fandom of all shapes and sizes. Like it's made it very, I don't want to say segmented, but very deep. So like you're a baseball fan or you're a wrestling fan or you're a comic book fan or whatever it is, you don't just have to just watch the game or watch the product, if you want to call it that, but you can get kind of ingrained in different aspects of it. Like what's the GM aspect like? What's the talent aspect like? Where's this talent going? Is he bouncing around? What's this next person doing? And it's made it a much deeper and I think richer experience, is for me at least, for a fan and as a talent. I put you to sleep. Everybody put to sleep on that. I got way too smart for all you.
He got deep, man. He just went to another zone. He took it to another level. Like he had an out of body experience, Yeah, he had an out of body experience.
Was that Domino's calling Legursky? Has it been 30 minutes?
No, I agree. You can. I do enjoy wrestling as a fan, but I also look at it from a business aspect, and to see what works, what doesn't work, what we can do to improve, what we can do to differentiate ourselves from what's out there. Like we could see, okay, there's no one like us, and what we're doing is working, and that there's more of a room for us, or looking back, looking at stuff from the past. We like a lot of the fixers is taking stuff from big men from the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We watch that from a different perspective. We look at it and how we could utilize it. A lot of the fixer stuff is stuff that's rehashed from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and because we were fans of it, but we also know that we could do it.
And it's also that stuff's available now readily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like think about it. Like you said, the tape trader stuff. Like you heard about something, and you had to hunt that tape down or that match down, and then maybe you out hyped it in your head, maybe you didn't. But now I can point and click or get an email, and he sends me clips. I send him clips of stuff like, hey man, what if we tried something like this? What if we did something like this? And it's it just makes us better. It's constantly coaching yourself and having that footage to review as an athlete or whatever. So you're like, man, I fucked that up. I did that wrong, or wow, we could have done this, and this could have been so much better or bigger. And you put it in your back pocket for next time. And I think again, that's where talent overall in this modern era is really benefiting, because you have that instant access pretty much to content.
I think that's pretty good. I think people that don't use it actually are it's a hindrance to them, man, because you need to go back, and that's the only way you're going to learn. Like you guys, like you said, you guys are plucking from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, the tag teams, and you're trying to make it in your own way. That if someone isn't using that to their benefit, it's kind of like, what are you doing, dude? You know what I mean? You have that to go back to, and that's what you guys are doing. You guys are finding your own groove as in the NWA. It's good to have also a place where you have some creative freedom to try stuff, right? Because sometimes you guys are talking about it, and then you guys, let's try this, and then the office is like, well, no, but here it seems like you guys have a little bit more free range, right?
Yeah,
100%.
I think Wrecking Ball will agree with me. A lot of times when we have our matches with NWA, and you want to call them the office or the agents come up to us and kind of, give us our marching orders. There's been quite a few times where we've been like, the agents or the office, whatever, you guys turn one, it's been like, do you guys, it's working. You know what I mean? Like, we trust you guys get your stuff done. Here's what we're looking for. And we go about and do it, which goes back to that creative freedom and trust that, I'm experiencing with the NWA, and it makes it really, really enjoyable You know, not to say that we can get away with anything, but like, you know what I mean? When you have that carte blanche, you know, there is a confidence that comes with it, a validation that comes with it, because, you know, the people who are paying your paychecks or signing them, you know, besides signing them and paying you for your services, they're like, do you, essentially, you know what I mean? To sound like one of the millennials, you do you, you know what I mean? Like, it's all you. Okay, cool. And you go, it's refreshing, you know, it's a fun experience.
Yeah, definitely don't feel like I'm walking on eggshells or we're walking on eggshells. And if we try something that doesn't work, like it just doesn't work, and we move on and we try something different, you know?
Yeah, I think that's one of the fun things about the Fixers. If it's like, you know, with our personalities and our wrestling style, if it doesn't work, like, well, we'll fix that later. You know what I mean? Well, we'll fix that problem a different way, or well, we won't do that again. But we're the big tough goofs. You know what I mean? If it comes off looking silly or dumb or whatnot, it's like, it's us. That's a Fixer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like a catch-all for us.
Yeah, you
You're
build
right.
that. Yeah, you build that trust with the company, and they know that you guys are going to do, you know, give your best out there, and it's trust. It's basically a trust issue with some companies, and some companies trust their talent, which is a good thing. It seems like that's what you guys are being allowed to do.
But the best thing about that is you guys are reacting to the crowd and the audience. And now, you know, during the times of the pandemic when it was taken away, how vital is it for you guys to get that instant feedback from the audience to see, hey,
Yeah.
this is working, this isn't working, let's go in that direction, let's go in that direction. Can you guys kind of at least talk to me about the fact that, you know, that's something I feel gets lost a little bit sometimes when you think about, like, I love tag team wrestling. I grew up loving tag team wrestling. To me, those are the matches that I look forward to the most because those could steal the show because of the psychology of everything in terms of the storytelling behind it. When you look at from the aspect of when you guys are in there performing and reacting from the audience, how important is it to sometimes when people say you're going too fast to slow it down to make things more meaningful? Are those things you guys look into when you guys are, you know, working with a team where you're working on what you're going to do in the ring type of thing, about really feeding off the crowd rather than having a preconceived notion of what you were going to do beforehand?
Well, I think feeding off the crowd is a big part of what we do and why we've been so successful. Like whether the reaction is love, hate, or a split, like, you know, the crowd has been passionate about what everything we do, you know. Um, yeah, I mean, you know, every time we walk in the building, someone has some type of reaction, be it love or hate, you know. No one's just like, about us.
You know, it reminds me what Legursky just said. I think Tommy Dreamer told me right after I started in WWE was like, the worst thing that can happen to a wrestler is like silence when you walk out there, like no reaction, that indifference. And he's right, particularly, and I will say particularly in North America, where that, you know, we're so used to having that reaction. On the flip side of that, like you mentioned in the pandemic, like the only way you got that reaction was to turn to social media, which can be a hodgepodge of you know, toxicity and positivity. So it's like, you know, how genuine is that, you know, when someone's watching it from the comfort of their own home and not there live, or what other circumstances are they experiencing as they're watching? The other aspect I'll throw into too is like when I went over to Japan, you know, those crowds a lot of times are silent, and you have to adjust to it because you have to look at it from that fan's perspective, because that's the way their culture is. Like, they're being quiet and respectful because they want you to perform athletically and execute things really, really well, and then they'll clap when they see that athleticism, that power, or that execution of technique, and then especially at the end. So it's, you know, it's understanding the crowd or what the viewer is looking for, wants out of you too. And I think just having a live audience there and being in that moment, and then reacting to that moment. Because like what WB was just saying is like, sometimes they love us, sometimes they hate us. There's never anybody in between, but it's making those people feel something because of what you did, and then capitalizing on that and experiencing it, because then you have those cool wrestling moments, like, not to say we're on this level, but Hogan and Rock looking at each other, you know what I mean? Austin and McMahon in each other's faces. Like, no one talked about that in the back, you know what I mean? Like, they just went out there and did it, and the crowd was like, oh, so they did it more. So that to me is really what I'm a fan of, and what gets me excited with being in the ring or watching people do the same thing, because that's the pro wrestling that I grew up on. Same thing with WB. Some of these 70s, 80s, 90s teams and talent in general. It's like you go back and watch those crowds and watch today's crowds. There's a pretty big difference. So,
hey guys, awesome stuff from you guys, man. Just talking wrestling, and just feels like a convo here. We're just talking about wrestling, tag team wrestling, which we both love. Listen, NWA 74 is Saturday and Sunday from St. Louis. Chase Carson Ballroom, wrestling at the Chase. Obviously, very famous place, and it is on FITE TV. Guys, make sure you get it, because these guys in night 2 will be vying for the NWA United States Tag Team Championships.
And I'm still politicking to get the Fixerettes and the Burke Invitational.
All right, let's do that.
Let's do it. Come on.
Yeah, guys.
Let's get on social media. Let's make this a trend.
Guys.
Hashtag Fixerettes. Hashtag don't touch my sister.
Guys, they are the Fixers. Man, obviously, guys, you guys are going to kill it. You guys are going to get those titles. We have no doubt about it. It is Jay Bradley and Wrecking Ball Legursky here on the HSP podcast. They actually fixed this podcast. You guys fixed this podcast. So there you go. You fixed this. You fixed any issues we've had. So there you go. There's
brother. We live the gimmick. We live the gimmick, brother.
Yeah, guys.
Fixers rule.
Fixers rule.
Guys, thank you so much for joining the show. And listen, when you win those titles, come back and let's talk about it. All right. Really appreciate you being on.
I can redo the Shawn Michaels Playgirl cover while we talk.
Hey, let's do it.
Legursky too.
That'll get clicks, man. That'll get clicks. So definitely, let's do that. Guys, thank you so much for coming.
Clicks for the... Never mind.
What were you going to say?